Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the F6 Season 32 Round 1 race. Today, I'm not joined by Eli as he is not going to be here today, but my name is Alex Chisholm, and we're going to get into this first race of Season 32. Last season was such a banger. We had Rishan absolutely dominate the second half of the season. He was untouchable. I said the second half, the first half as well. Um, what we're going to see in this new season, I don't know. We've got a few returning drivers that we should talk about. We got Matty, 29, who finished P9 last season, whose best finish was P3 in USA. Andrew Fairley returns. He finished P8 in the standings, and his best finish was P3 in the Great British Grand Prix. And Ayub Khan, who finished P12 in the standings, was very unlucky last season. Had a lot of chances to finish higher up, but unfortunately was taken out quite a few times. His best finish was P4 in Saudi Arabia. The Circuit de Barcelona is a very famous circuit. Obviously, one of those that's used for preseason testing because it's a track that can test a lot of the aspects. It's got a lot of different corners which the teams want to use, and we'll have a look at that right now. It's 4.6 kilometers, which is 2.9 miles, 16 corners, two DRS zones. Yeah. So 16 corners, and one of those, turn 7 on the hill, is actually a farmhouse called La Moraneta. I cannot read my writing, apparently. And that actually existed before the circuit was even built. And it's currently used for offices, which is quite cool. But yeah, obviously you've got those very famous corners. The chicane, one of the hardest to get right, and a lot of people want that to be removed, like it is in the MotoGP layout. And you've got the hairpin, which is new this year. And I think the first time on this game in this league that's been raced since it wasn't in the calendar last season. So we'll see how these drivers manage that. A few moments to watch the track limits, because obviously going off all four, having all four tyres off the track, sometimes the game doesn't give you a penalty, and you can get penalised for doing that. And those are turns 5, 9, 12, 10, and 12. So it's easy to go off there and easy to get away with that. So that's definitely something to watch out for all the drivers. We are currently sat in the lobby, and we'll be looking to start very shortly. There is your calendar for the season. So today is Spain, obviously the season opener, and there's a lot of new tracks. And ending in Abu Dhabi, which is something that I like because I like Abu Dhabi, and I think it's a good circuit to have at the end of the season. So yeah. Also, just a thank you to GT Omega, the title sponsor of PSGL. And if you guys would like a 5% discount at checkout, if you go to gtomega.co.uk, use code PSGL at checkout, you get 5% off. And GT Omega are great guys. And the champions of PC F1 to F6 and the champions of PS F1 to F2 get a £150 voucher to be used in the GT Omega store. So that's obviously very nice of them if you think about how much that is altogether. But it's 7 o'clock, so we will be getting away, getting underway very shortly. I have got my list of fun facts, so even though Punjo is not here, he is going to be here in spirit with the fun facts. We should talk about the new drivers, because almost everyone is new. Of the 20 in the lineup, 17 of them are new drivers. From what I've heard, I've done a little bit of research, or listening to what people have been saying. Zerke in the Aston Martin, I think it was, is apparently one of the quicker ones, but that's honestly all that I know. But yeah, it's been really interesting to see how these new drivers adapt to the new people they're racing against. I think we'll immediately, because last year it was Balazs and Rishan in Austria, we saw how those guys were able to pick up the pace very quickly, and instantly we knew the championship fight was going to be between those, and it was. But yeah, Rishan ended up dominating last season, so hopefully, obviously now we relation to the game, time trials are going to be a lot more accurate, which is what they used to sign up. I mean, Rashawn won by 34 points last season, so hopefully we don't have that again, and we have a much more competitive season. I mean, not that I'm complaining. It was obviously a thrill to watch, but yeah, hopefully we got a little bit more variety of who's going to win. But yeah, short quality as usual, 33 lap race, which is a lot of time to catch up and a lot of time to make mistakes. Um, but yeah, the cars, a few. I mean, we'll talk about those who were there last season. Matthew, who last season, oh, what team was he? Um, Aston Martin. I mean, obviously, it doesn't change anything. It's equal performance, but he was last season um, in the Aston Martin, and now he's in the Red Bull. Ayub Khan has gone from Williams to McLaren, and Andrew Fairley is not in the lobby yet, so I don't know. But he was in Williams as well. We're just waiting. Just hearing that we've got a few issues with desync, so might be a few minutes longer, but that's fine. I'll go for some more fun facts because I do have quite a few, which I think's good to have. Um, it was the circuit was inaugurated in September on the September 10th of September 1991, only 19 days before its first F1 race, which is crazy if you think about it. But then we also have circuits like this year. We had Miami, which was made pretty much instantly. I mean, it was being made like pretty much on the weekend. So I mean, how big of a gap 19 days is, I don't know, but especially back when there's a lot more limited technology, it's quite amazing. But yeah, we still do have a few people on the logos. Oh, Andrew Fairley, he went from Williams to Mercedes. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the start of the season is always one of the most exciting races because this is where we learn pretty much everything about the drivers. First impressions, well, not everything obviously, but first impressions do mean everything. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll get underway very shortly. But yeah, I do have my commentary notes which I need to use. But yeah, there's not really too much I can do. Not too much I can do with the lobby loading. But yeah, don't worry, we'll be getting there very shortly. I mean, I think we should talk a bit more about last season. Um, even though Rishan dominated Austria pretty, well, not dominated, but Rishan was at the front for a lot of Austria. And then actually DNF'd in Miami. So we all thought, oh, it was a one-off performance, but no. He every single race that he finished on the podium, which is quite amazing. I mean, he wouldn't have in Miami, but if he finished, but he didn't finish, so he keeps that statistic, which is I think still nonetheless very impressive. But yeah, um, yeah, we shouldn't be too much longer. Right. Yeah, reading up. Cool. Here we go then. It's time for PSGL F6 Season 31 to get underway. I'm very excited. Spain, obviously, a lovely track. Yeah. Here we go. Game is not there. Oh dear. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, just adding in. Sorry about that. But F6 getting underway now. for the first quality session. We'll see who's going to be the first out, and we can see all the lineups there in due course as they do so. Here we go. I'll just get a few of these up. We'll see who's the first out. Obviously, you got those who are going to wait a little bit longer. But yeah, the Spanish GP, always such an iconic track. You got the two Spanish drivers, Alonso and Carlos Sainz, obviously very much loved, as I think F1 is a very patriotic sport, which we have seen in their fan bases. So, I mean, not sure who we have from Spain, as I don't know nationalities, but Zerky, one of those who might be a favourite. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Coming out of the pits now. We'll follow him out. Obviously, this game with much higher curves, it's a lot more easier to spin. Something to notice. Also, something to notice is the new car models, which were in the newest one of the newest updates. So we'll see how these guys do. But yeah, Zerky on his outlap. We'll have a look at a few of the other guys driving. As his teammate Snakes F1. Got to learn what to call these guys. We've got Victor in the Ferrari. Rishi, Rish. Almost like Rashan. We'll see if he does the same sort of performance, warming up his tyres in that Alfa Romeo. Bologna Sandwich. I love that name. I can't come out the pits. A few other guys, but we'll follow on with Zerky as Zerky is about to start the first flying lap of the PSGL Season 32 in F6, getting underway now. We'll just follow him through this lap. I just realised I have a mod on that makes the cars have V10 sound, so you're just going to have to ignore that. Oh dear. Going through turn 1 now. Important not to go too high on the curbs. As I said, it is really easy to spin, and these cars only have a certain amount of grip they can hold before they fly into the distance. But coming up into turn 4 now, already got yellow flags. I think that's just people slowing down. Zerky finishing the first sector, obviously purple, as he's the first one to go through it into turn 5 now, exiting that through turn 6. It's another place that's very easy to go over the curves, and also interesting to note the track limits through a couple of these corners, including turn 9, which is this one right here, going into turn 10 at the end of this straight. DRS slams shut, getting the car rotated nicely, taking a wider line to slingshot himself through the corner. A little bit of traffic, hopefully they move as well, which, ooh, don't know who that is, but need to make sure moving out the way. Zerky finishing his lap now. I think he did get held up a little bit there, which is not very fortunate. But he does set a 116.7, which is decent. No, it's a very good lap. I can't blow that. So I think that was Ibe Khan who got in the way there. So yeah, he might get in trouble a little bit later on with the stewards, but not really too much to talk about at the moment. A few other drivers set lap times. Mike with a 16.9. As Tomat also with a 16.9, and Augustin with a 16.9, 2, 3, and 4. Tomat P2, Mike P3, Augustin P4. And there's a new fastest lap, Ruben, in that Red Bull racing car with a 16.6, so a really good lap by him. We'll follow on with Ayub Khan as he goes through his lap now in the McLaren. Through turn 9 now onto the straight. Important not to invalidate that. You can see the amount of grip the cars have. It really is amazing. DRS open. Only a short DRS in that one, but DRS nonetheless. I'm sure we'll see some overtakes there. Especially, ooh, Ayub Khan makes a mistake losing the car a little there. We'll see if he still finishes his lap, which I'm sure he will. Oh, tyres must be overheating like mad. Although it does say on the steering wheel that they're not, so yeah, just a lack of grip. Warming up, I guess, for Ayub Khan. There's a car fighting it through the corners. We'll see what he does now as he finishes lap. I don't think it's going to be too quick. Yeah, we'll see only P11 with a 17.5. Quite a few mistakes there, but I'm sure Ayub will fix those. There's Zerky, Ruben, the favourite so far. Yeah, none of those guys on laps at the moment. who is Mika. Mika in that Ferrari, on a lap at the moment. See what he does now as he comes across the line. DRS wide open. Manages not to spin. Goes P11 with a 17.1. Who else is on the lap? Andrew Fairley. Across the line on mediums. I wonder why he's qualifying the mediums. Obviously, he had the extra tyre allocation. Maybe it's just a warm-up lap to get used to the car. But yeah, that time will definitely be improved as he's on the mediums, so he can't push as much. Well, he can push as much, but he won't have as much grip. Luca Lo Monaco. If that's his actual name, that is very ironic as he's in F1. It says a purple middle sector, so showing a lot of pace. Potential to be one of the favourites in that Alpine F1 car. We'll see what he does now as he goes to the enters the final chicane, turn 14 and 15, exits, and important not to spin, gets the power down very quickly there. We'll see what he does now as he comes across the line. It's going to be P3 with a 16.8, not quite good enough for pole position yet, but there is still 11.5 minutes. That was some more fun facts. The first Motorcycle World Championship Grand Prix in 1992 was called the European Grand Prix until 1995 when it was called the Catalan Grand Prix, and it has been ever since, I believe. Yeah, we'll have a look at turn 7 actually, because that's the hill where the farmhouse is. I think it'll be interesting to see if we can spot that out. In case you didn't hear, it was the farmhouse which is now one of the office buildings. So it's quite an interesting thing to take note of and to have in a track there. Oh yeah, there it is. But yeah, you can see the cars on the big TV screens. Another fun fact, there are 16 of those giant screens for the spectators to use, which is quite a lot if you think about it. Especially as there's 16 corners, that relates to 1 per corner. I highly doubt there's 16 grandstands. People coming up for their second laps now. Augustin Tolashi on his flying lap now, entering turn 7. Going on to DRS at turn 9. Really easy to exceed track limits here, as I said earlier on. But yeah, managing that very nicely. As he's half a tenth up. So, I mean, even that half a tenth would put him up 1, maybe 2 positions if he managed to get a little bit more. And there's lap Matty 29. Regions always. Augustin has a spin. Is he out? Oh, he's not out. Manages to save it on that green strip of AstroTurf, but that was very close. Really to turn their tyres overheating, especially in that part of the circuit. I think he's done that nicely to make sure he didn't get in the way of anyone. So good, fair play to him. Others on a lap. Killed is on the lap at the moment, entering turn 4. Through turn 5 now. I mean, Spain is a track where it's just testing how good you are at saving spins, because it is genuinely so easy to spin here. That's one of the things I don't like about the new game, to be honest. I know, you know, it's more realistic, the curve switch is more realistic, but I don't think it is as realistic in all honesty. Obviously gameplay has never been perfect, but I feel like it's kind of annoying what happens. But 2 tenths up, Killed is at the moment with a purple middle sector. He needs to gain 1 more tenth in this final sector. He could be looking at the provisional pole position. Yellow flags all over the place, of course, as people are slowing down for other drivers. Killed coming across the line now. Going to open the DRS wide, unlike Max Verstappen did in the actual Spanish Grand Prix. And so that's a 16.5 to go provisionally on pole. P1 Killed, respecting his name there, going P1. Knocking off P1 Ruben, who is no longer P1. He finishes that now. Talking of P1 Ruben, actually, he is a 10.5 up in the first sector already. And he's still got the rest of that to do. Snakes F1 YT goes P3 with a 16.7 even. Ruben coming up into turn 8 now. In that Red Bull. The Red Bull is my favourite car to drive in this game. It just looks so slick. Always invalidates turn 9. Going slightly wide there. I said it was very easy to do, and he has just shown exactly how easy it is to do. So that's very unlucky to him. Zerky is currently half a tenth down in his time. He needs to gain 2 tenths if he wants to have a shot at provisional pole. Obviously, they are still going to have time for one more lap after this. However, it's always important to get this bank of times in now, which Ruben isn't going to be able to do. But I'm sure Ruben is going to be looking at one. Is going to be one of the favourites for pole. Zerky going to be finishing his lap now. We'll see what he does now. As he opens the DRS wide open, crosses the line. He goes P2 with a 16.6, 9 thousandths faster than P1 Ruben, who was P3. That's going to be confusing. I'm just going to have to call him Ruben. Same with Killed. Killed. Oh. That's one of the struggles as a commentator, having to pronounce names. But definitely does look like a very close grid so far. Everyone is within a tenth of the person behind, so well, almost everyone. So that's really good to see. Ayub Khan is on lap. Oh, never mind. He's 1.3 seconds down. I think this is an in-lap. He's P4 at the moment. That's 16.6. So that first lap with a lot of mistakes. Being beaten. It's quite a good lap. Within half a second of P1. So I mean, it's quite a lot to do. Not within half a second, sorry, within 2 tenths. So yeah, that's good for him. Entering the pit lane. 6.5 minutes left, so still time for everyone. So, you know, it's pretty chill for everyone. Tom Atsolves, he's 2 seconds, he's on in-lap. Luca DeMonaco, half a tenth up at the moment. Set in purple sectors earlier. Now he's in P8. Oh, he nearly loses the rear end there. Going up the hill into turn 9. It's such an easy place to do so. But no, it's managing to keep it on the circuit. You can see how much he's pushing. He really wants to get that pole position in this first race. As I said earlier, first impressions matter. That's going to be your mindset for the rest of the season. If you're having a good first race, you can look to have a really good season. All these guys are new to F6. Not sure if they've been from higher tiers or lower tiers. Probably lower tiers, but yeah, obviously when time trials are done a little bit more accurately later in the game, it's a lot more of a difference. Luca Monaco even doesn't improve. He's 3 tenths down this time, so not the best last sector there. Mike Zek is on a lap. Oh, he nearly spins it going up the hill. Not sure if that was oversteer, just correcting his line into turn 4. Whenever it was, he seems to be a lot better now. I didn't see the split for sector 1, but oh yeah, we'll hope it's green. These drivers are so brave. They can always go on the line, on the curve lines. It's quite astonishing actually how they don't spin. Into turn 9, where the Red Bull, I think he's going to spin them, but the Red Bull exceeds track limits. He does not exceed track limits. He's got to hurry up if he wants to have 2 more runs. He does set a pole winner sector. He is 2 tenths up at the moment. This would put him within touching distance of pole to get a lap, if he gets a lap in later on. But he's going to have to be quick about this. He's going to have to try and cut corners. Not literally, obviously. But Mike coming across the line now. We'll see what he does as he opens the DRS. It's P8 with a 116.8, so improvement of the 10th, but only 3 tenths off pole. So I say only, that is quite a big amount in this type of racing. So we'll see what he can do. Other drivers on a lap. Is that Rish? It is Rish. Rish improved by half a second to set a 17.1. Oh no, sorry, no, this is a flying lap. Into turn 1, heavy braking zone, just at the 50-meter board. I'll stay silent for this lap so you guys can enjoy the V10 engine sound which I have. I think that sounds a bit too quiet. I don't even know you guys can hear it. He is boxing though. I hope that's better. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you could hear it before. That is actually really loud. Sorry about this. Matty is on. Everyone is on outlaps. Matty leading this train. Everyone's going to get out quickly. Otherwise, they're not going to have enough time to start their flying laps. Just 9 minutes left. Everybody is going to be coming up for their outlaps. Although I do see an Alpha Romeo in the pit lane, so I hope he's going to get out in time. I don't think he is, in all honesty, but we'll follow along with Matty. Matty, a returning driver from last season, starting his flying lap now. We'll follow it on through turn 1. We'll see what we can do. We'll note that he... oh no, he doesn't have Zerky right behind him. Matty coming up, reaching turn 4 now. Heading into turn 6. We'll see. I didn't see what sector 1 split was, so sorry about that. But going on to going up the hill into the first DRS zone, really cutting the corner there, taking a really nice line there actually. We'll see what his split is in the middle sector, and we'll see where that puts him. 2/10 up, that is mighty in the first and second sector. He actually sets the middle sector, so track evolution, and obviously pure talent coming to play there. He does a traffic ahead, they need to get out of the way, otherwise they're going to impede his lap. Which I really hope they don't. Oh, as Matty spins it on the curb after showing such promise in that first sector or so. Snakes F1 YouTube though is on that. We will have to cut away from Matty, but yeah, very unfortunate. They might have time to start a lap. I'm not going to have enough ERS, but we'll see what Snakes does now. Can he challenge for pole position? Yes, he can. He's on 16.480. That's provisional pole position. We'll see what other people do now as they cross the line. Tomac goes P3 with that. Zerky goes across the line. Can he challenge pole position? No, he can't. He's actually 25 thousandths off, which is very unfortunate for him. Andrew Fairley finishing that now. He's 2.4 seconds down. I think he's going to box. Yes, he is. Ferrari of Mika is finishing his lap. He's currently a 10th up. That would moving up quite a few positions. We'll see where he goes. P11 with a 16.8, pushing Andrew Fairley down. Another position. Ayub Khan coming across the line. We'll see what he does as he goes P4 with a 16.6. Big well done to him. Only 0.02 of a second off Tomat, but oh well. Lupo de Monaco comes on. He goes P8. Victor goes P3 with a 16.6. So quick lap on him. Still my bearings. Emin does not improve his lap. Killed goes P2 with a 16.5. Understand him. I don't even know. Ruben goes P2 with a 16.5, showing a lot of pace there. Tomat boxes. Everyone else, I think, is boxing. Yeah, that is everyone. That's going to be your qualifying order. So Snakes does get pole position with a 1 minute 16.480. So very well done to him. Or her. Yeah, that's a mighty lap. 16.4 is genuinely incredibly quick. Teammate not so lucky in P9, the 16.6, but yeah, that's fine. We still got a race. So we'll be back for that. Sorry. Another thank you to GT Omega there. Obviously providing this league with a lot. Into the race now. We'll see what happens. Anything can happen, obviously, in the race. We've seen the bankings that are qualifying, how well you can predict that people are going to do. So we'll see what happens there. You can see the timings board there, the position board, right there on the screen at the moment. Is actually inspired by the one in Indianapolis. It's also in Austin, which is in America, so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, it was inspired by Indianapolis, which I think is quite cool. Yeah, the large scoreboard with the time and all the positions on it. It's actually one of the first circuits to have race direction, with the race director with no view on the track, and they only use monitors, which I think is also quite interesting. It's a pioneering track, meaning that it's one of the first circuits to do that. It's a new idea that it tried. Yeah, it's quite cool. Another cool thing about this track is the circuit offers live internal radio coverage, which, provides the spectators with, something to listen to, or if they can't see all the action at once, or if they can't hear the commentary, or anything like that. So yeah, that's a nice thing for it to do. As we go to 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Ruben getting a good start, but so does Snake. Snake's a better of the two there, but it's a long run into turn 1. But slipstream as Ruben in the second phase does look like he's getting a run on Ruben. He's going to go side by side into turn 1. We'll see who can get the better line. Snake's going side by side, round the outside to get the position back to the lead through turn 2 and 3. Has cut in the corner there. Ruben not having the best of luck through his first couple of corners, though. Andrew Fairley drops to 18th as he does spin. I think Emin also lost a few positions there. Both McLarens looking like they've lost a few positions, but yeah, first lap through Snakes. Ruben Hilden likes coming through these next few corners. Can Ruben do anything? Is he still going to be looking at all the back of Snakes? As he knows he's got to keep with him and get these positions now. To save him a little bit of time later. A few battling back there as they're going side by side through turn 9 even. Victor trying to overtake E2. Not much luck. We'll see if anyone does any dive ones. Not looking like it's a few fightings back there. I think that's Noah and Mika. Sorry about the names, I'm not too familiar with them. Yeah, it was as Noah does a really good dive on that on his mediums, showing that they have superior grip. The gap out of front is already 6/10, 7/10, so Snakes is pushing like mad. But luckily, no one is too far behind, and I'm sure everyone will be able to catch up to the DRS train. Andrew Fairley is he's not in there at the moment. We'll see if anyone's having runs into turn 1, because obviously I'm sure there might be. Matthew trying to get past Mika, not quite able to at the moment. I do apologise if I'm missing other battles. I'm trying my best. I've got Noah getting a view of Augustin trying to overtake his teammate Ayub Khan. Not quite successful at the moment. Best starters. E2 made up 3 places. Silver Arrow made up 4 places, and Noah made up 3 places. A little bit of fighting between Bologna Sandwich and Rish Rathi as those guys exchange positions. Or a little bit of a gap ahead. E2 maybe struggling to keep up with the guys ahead, and maybe causing a bit of a train as Aston Martin of Zerky goes down the inside, makes a little bit of contact there with one of the Joe. I didn't see who that was, but that cost him a little bit of time. I'm not sure whose fault that was. Snakes lost the first challenge. We're still on pole, but first to last challenge. Sorry, I misread that. Oh, there's a spin. Alpha Tauri spun around. Spun around. I think that was a Ferrari that he hit there. That is... Oh, that's really unfortunate for him. People are going to be pissing as I think there's no safety car, but a lot of people having to pit for damages then. That is really unfortunate. Always Victor nearly struggles to get the car slowed down there. I'm not sure what happened there, but there was a few cars turned around. Amazing car styles. Yes, I accidentally left the V10 mod on, but oh well. No safety car, so that's good, I guess. Well, not good for those obviously who have crashed, but I'm not sure what happened there, but if that was contact or just a natural spin. but that's really set them back. I thought it was an AlphaTauri, it must have not been. But talking of the AlphaTauris, AlphaTauri P13 is fighting with Emin, so we'll see what those guys are doing. But already a 2.4 seconds gap. Zerki's got to do some catching up, as already DRS is enabled. E2 as well out of that DRS range. Already having to use all his batteries, so clearly struggling to keep up with those guys ahead, since those guys pretty much have full batteries, but we'll follow on with Ruben as he's going to have DRS all the way down the main straight. So we'll see what he can do. He's got to just make sure he's staying nice and close in this chicane, which he is able to do, short shifting to fourth. Yeah, he's going to DRS. We'll see if he actually goes for the move now or not, because he's actually quite far back. I'm not sure if he's going to be close enough. Snakes does set the fastest lap, but Ruben is catching up. He's not going to be close enough to go for a move yet, but he is going to be for sure later on. That DRS is close, a good 7 tenths gap to 2 tenths, 1 tenth. Obviously still dirty air is a thing, that's difficult to close up. Other battles, Ayub Khan and Mike, I think that was Mike getting past Ayub Khan there, for P12. I'm doing my best to try and catch all the battles. But yeah, we'll follow on these top guys because Ruben is so close to Snakes, and I'm sure as it's the first race, he's going to want to win. He's going to want to make his mark immediately. He's going to DRS. Is he going to go for a move yet? But it does seem like he's dropping back. He's lost 2 tenths in the first sector. He's not going to be close enough for a move yet. He's going to have to settle for P2 at least till the end of this lap. He's got to make sure he also stays with Snakes to have any chance of overtaking. But Ruben is going to have DRS, and he's not going to be close enough. He's lost another 3 tenths in the rest of that sector. So Snake's clearly showing the pace. Maybe Ruben only really being able to stay there due to DRS, but this time it's not been as effective, as it looks like he's only gained like 2 tenths. So he must have made a mistake that I didn't spot. As Ayub Khan retires in the pit. I'm not sure why that was, but that is really unfortunate. He said he was feeling really confident for this race. So, yeah, that really sucked for him. Tomat sobs, trying to get a good run on Rish. Not quite able to do it at the moment. Still following through. Yeah, not quite close enough yet. The top 3 though, already making their mark with a bit of a gap. Apparently Ayub Khan desynced, that's why he had to retire in the pits. So that's horrible, especially when it's the game's fault. But yeah, his teammate is going to be under pressure from Noah going onto this DRS straight. He's going to have the DRS open. We'll see if he can do anything. But it's the dirty air, I think, out of turn 16. Not going to be quite close enough at the moment to do any moves. But yeah, I think the dirty air out of turn 16 is really slowing people down. Hopefully it's not going to slow down Thomas. He's going to try and have a go overtaking Rish. Goes a little bit wide. Gonna have the DRS open. He's using a little bit of overtake, but I think he's comfortable to stay in the DRS at the moment. So yeah, he's all good for now. We'll cut to the leaders. Oh, sorry about that. As Ruben is so close to Snakes, this time able to maintain the gap. He's gonna have DRS. Obviously, he's not gonna go for a move here, as he would just lose the position pretty much immediately after on the main DRS straight. But we'll see what he can do, as he's looking really aggressive, able to stay with him. I mean, he's used quite a lot more of his battery, or 10% more of his battery than Snakes, and maybe not quite able to keep up. But Ruben needs to get a good exit here if he wants to have a go at overtaking, or at least being close enough, because I mean, he could just be staying behind as we saw Rishan do last season, but we'll see what he does. As he's not using overtake at all, so I think he is more than comfortable just to stay behind, in all honesty. There's not really any reason to overtake, because he'll probably lose it very soon. Um, we'll have a look at the guys behind. E2 leading a train of 4 cars, that is. Yep, not really anything happening between those guys at the moment. How about Subs? Defending this time from Rish, so he obviously did get past and didn't realise. Rish has got DRS. We'll see if he has a look for any moves anytime soon. He breaks early. Always, Tomat makes some mistakes going over the curbs a little bit, going wide, but he's able to maintain the position through the corner. Only lap 7 at the moment, so still a lot of time left for things to happen. Tire wear in Spain, I don't think it's too high. Obviously you do those long corners, but I think it should be all good for the most part. Ruben still staying behind, which I'm sure we'll see it, but Killed is actually outside of the 1 second DRS zone, so he's going to have to use a bit of DRS here to get in, otherwise he's going to have lose any chance of taking the lead of this race towards the end. We'll see how good people's tyre management are. Obviously, if you have those mistakes, but leaving the tyre pressures too high, which you might have done for quality and then not fixed it for the race, that type of stuff can really cost you. Yeah, it also makes it incredibly slippy, but he's going to have to use a little bit more ERS than that, otherwise he's really going to fall out. He's only at 9/10. I don't think he's in. He is in, so he won't lose too much now. But yeah, he's got to use ERS here because he's got to catch up. He simply can't afford to drop out of this 1 second DRS zone. Not really any other battles going on at the moment. E2 is getting pressure from Zerky though. Zerky, I was told, very strong, so we'll see what he can do. As those mediums are definitely starting to wear off. Zerky looks like he's got so much more grip in the corners. Yeah, it looks like he's relying on a safety car as well. You can see the red fuel pump, flashing red, so he's clearly on the border, but we'll see what he can do as he is in the slipstream. E2 is flashing, so having to use a lot of ERS. I mean, Zerky is only on 30% as well, so that's going to be important to note later on, because those guys behind, well, Serraro is on pretty much full battery, and Luca's on pretty much 50%, which is quite a lot more. But Zerky, I think, can definitely tell that those mediums are struggling. Zerky also looking quick, half a tenth, a tenth and a half up on his best lap in that first sector, clearly fired up there. So his hards are breaking in quite a lot more. Obviously, when that first stage of graining ends, I think there's a lot more grip. Obviously, I don't know how the hards are in that case. I also know if they're rubbered in more, obviously they're going to have more grip as well, as they can be at the temperature faster. But that's not relevant at this point. Yeah, E2 not looking like he's got as much grip now, or maybe not being able to use ERS. That's why he's staying ahead. Oh, he's so slow through that corner compared to Zerky. If Zerky doesn't want to get slowed down too much, he's going to have to overtake, but then that runs the risk of losing time if E2 ends up fighting him back as E2 pulls into the pits. So I'm not sure if that was damage or tyre wear, but that is E2 going to be the first pit stop for him of this race. Obviously, the first strategic one as well. I'll show you all the tyres there, so you guys can see. Hopefully it's a good stop for him. His first stop. Oh, there's a front wing change, so maybe that's why he was slow. Possibly doing some battling or whatever, but yeah, he's going to lose quite a few seconds on that stop, which is unfortunate for him. But yeah, I think it was definitely necessary, as it probably lose too much time later on otherwise. He emerges in P13. Which I think he'll complain too much about. Fun fact about a circuit: it was used in the 1992 Olympics for the 100-kilometer cycling time trial, which I think is really cool. I don't know any other circuits that are used for that was ever been used in the Olympics. Obviously, these for cycling, for the track walks and stuff. But yeah, I don't know about professionally. I think Silverstone do something like that with a cycle, they do a run. So that's cool. yeah, is on cold hard tyres. He's going to be under pressure from Tomat, as Tomat's going to have quite a lot more grip. Obviously those hards are going to be a lot slower for the end of the race now, so for the rest of the race now, so we'll see how he manages that. Mike does look like he's at the back of Mika, although that gap did increase quite a bit, so nothing really going on there. We'll quickly go on to the leaders because Ruben is very close to Snakes. He's under 2 tenths now. He's going to go for the move into turn 4. He dummies inside, goes around the outside, tries to go for the switch, but he breaks early and he goes around down the inside. Overtaking Snakes there. Snakes has just been switched back. That was an astonishing move there. I was not expecting that. That was brave, and that was really well done. I can't complain about that at all. Snakes, can he battle back though? Can he challenge that for the lead though? Obviously, these guys are not going to be pitting for another 10 or so laps because those means need to get at the end. But Snakes actually looks a lot slower under pressure from Killed. Is Killed going to do anything into the hairpin? He's not going to be close enough this time around. He looks for the move, but he's not quite close enough yet. Snakes needs to stay within the DRS because if he's suddenly slow for some reason, he's going to need that DRS to catch up. Why do the cars sound like V8s? I left a mod on which has V10 engines, so yeah, sorry about that. I know, I like the sounds, but yeah, I forgot to take that off the PSGL. But anyway, is Snakes going to have another look at Ruben, try and get that first position back? I don't think he's going to be close enough. He's only got a gap of 6 tenths at the moment, but luckily it is quite a long main straight, enough time for Snakes to catch back up without having to use ERS. We'll see if he's under pressure from Killed. Yeah, throughout the rest of this race. Zerky in P4 as well. Teammate of Snakes, under pressure from Silver Arrow and Luca LaMonaco. The 2 Alpines there. Obviously now E2 has pitted. He's not got that DRS anymore, so he's just going to lose time to the leaders and to those behind. Can you change your audio files yet still spectate online races? I think you can. I know obviously some mods, if you change that, it means you can't do online races, but this one works in online. I've done online races, like league races and stuff with it. It's a really good mod. I mean, I don't know how much I should be promoting it. You know, if you can find a race department, it's just called like V10 engine sounds or something. But yeah, it is really good. I really like it. And yeah, you can use it. Snakes dropping back to 7 tenths. This is what we saw in the earlier laps when Ruben was really struggling, I think, with Dirty in the middle sector and just lack of pace. Maybe his hard tyres are wearing off quite a bit more than Ruben's because it looks like he's struggling to keep up. How much is ERS? Killed, not going to make a move. I think Killed knows that they got to stay in this DRS train. Yeah, mimicking what we saw in the earlier laps, obviously inverted this time. Oh, is Killed, gets a snap of oversteer there, nearly losing up the hill, manages to save it. Killed obviously going to be looking to make the places later on when he's not under so much pressure from the guys behind, and obviously it's going to be a dogfight in the last 2 laps, so hopefully these guys can all stay together so we can get an amazing last lap race. That's E2. E2 looking to overtake. I think that's a disconnected Alfa Romeo, so he's ghosted. Yeah, he's DC'd. That's unfortunate for him. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe more desync, as we saw that's what happened with Ayub Khan. So yeah. Yeah, the leaders right now, staying positions. Snake's on a pretty decent line. He's half 10th up. There's Andrew Fairley, P17, spins around, drops to last place. Those mediums clearly dead. I'm sure we'll see the medium runners. I mean, there's only 10 lap old mediums. We've got a few, though, like Noah and Emin, who have started on those mediums. Those guys are going to have horrible tyres. Going to be looking to pit soon. Obviously, this is good because it gives us an indicator of how long the hards are going to go and when they're going to pit as well. So we'll see when those guys do that. When those guys box. But at the moment, the Sulema to be staying out. I'm sure Andrew Fairley, though, will be in the start as his tyres are going to be horrible. Matty getting past Noah. Talking about the mediums, clearly dead. You can see a little bit of graining on them, actually. If I go to that, then you can see that. But yeah, those tyres starting to struggle. So we'll see. We'll see when these guys are going to be making their stops. I don't know the exact strategy. I probably should have found that out. I'll make sure I do that for next week. But yeah, at the moment, he does seem to be okay, but you see he's lost a lot of time. He's lost 7/10 in the sectors. Andrew Fairley retires in the pits, decides his race is going to be worth nothing. I've Khan and Andrew Fairley, teammates last season, both of those retiring from this race, so yeah, that's unlucky for them. As returners, both of those guys looking, well, I've Khan looking quick. Andrew Fairley didn't seem as much, but nonetheless, that's still a loss of potential points. But Andrew Fairley, I know, did really well last season, getting a podium in the final race, so hopefully he's able to bring some of that momentum in the next race. But yeah, unfortunately, Matty sets the fastest lap on those hards. Are those fresh? Matty's P8 with 14 lap on hards, just at a fastest lap of 19.9. So Matty looking very quick there. I think the Mercedes of Andrew Fairley getting in the way a little bit there. Yeah, assisted by the DRS of Augustin. They're going to want to be doing things soon. What am I saying? No, he might want to pit soon, but obviously if he's got those really good tyres, then he doesn't have to. We'll see when these guys are going to be making this up, because these medium runners, if they're lasting 14 laps or so, well, obviously I don't know when they're going to pay it, but yeah, those hards will obviously go for a long time. I'm expecting around lap 20 in all honesty, but I mean, if those mediums, I mean, you can see Noah, lap 14, he's boxing now, so if we assume lap 16, sorry, not lap 14, he must have pitted early on, or they're fresh, or I don't know, 15 lap old, so what's 16 minus 33? That's what? That is 17. So we expect the hards to box pretty much next lap. We'll see if any of those guys pit now for an undercut with the risk of worse tyres towards the end, or you could risk the undercut because there could always be a safety car later on where everyone pits. So, I mean, it depends. If you're killed, maybe you're sat behind whilst the two guys have DRS, or maybe if Snakes does the opposite of Ruben, and then Kill just does whatever the guy who pits, if Killed pits whenever one of the other guys does, he's going to have DRS and might be able to make a position without costing any time. So we'll see that the strategy is going to start coming into play. And we'll see if any of the guys up ahead pit. Is Ruben going to pit? Yeah, I think he's going to pit next lap. But obviously, as I said, if they want to go for the undercut, nope, none of those guys are looking like they want to pit just yet. But I think it will be now. Obviously, I don't know the actual strategy. But yeah, that's what I'm predicting. But yeah, all of those medium runners have hit a lap 16, so yeah, that's would literally be now for if they were to do the same strategy, which they normally do. Yeah, we'll see. Well, since I MNDC'd and can't get an invite back in, I would invite him, but I can't, as I don't have him. But yeah, Snakes dropping to 7/10 back now. Looking like Killed is under pressure. I think his tyres are dead, so the pit lap is definitely going to be this lap. I'm sure Snakes will, because he does seem to be struggling and he needs this undercut. Luckily it's mediums, they won't take too long to fire up, so I mean it's the perfect lap for the undercut in all honesty. So I think he will, but he might not. We'll see. As he does pit just as I predicted, I would have thought that Killed would have followed him in, but no. Decides to stay out as well. Hopefully for him he still does the DRS, but he's 1.2 ahead behind, so I'm not sure if that was the best idea to stay out for Killed. But Zerky into the pits now. Nice clean stop, perfect timing as he exits the pits. Is he going to be in traffic? Does not look like it, so he's got lots of clean air to make that undercut work, because I think the other guys are going to be pitting at the end of this lap, so he's got to push like mad now. If he's lucky, He might be able to catch up the guys ahead as they're on really old hards, but I don't think he's going to be able to, so he won't have DRS. Mike's also pitted that lap, fresh mediums. We'll see if Snakes can do anything. Coming through turn 4 now. As this yellow flag says, I think that's a Haas spun. AlphaTauri, Mike spun round. He'd just come out of the pits, so obviously those cold mediums really struggle. So hopefully for Snakes, he doesn't have that same issue. You can see him using overtake. He's pushing like mad to try and maximise his advantage. We'll cut to the front guys as Kill did make it DRS. I think Kill should stay out for another lap. In all honesty. Actually, no, I think he should box. As he does box, as does Ruben, so we'll see how well these guys do. Hopefully, good stops as well, and we'll see how they come out, respective of Zerky. Zerky entering the final chicane now. Long pit lane, Ruben has been let go, so we'll see how Zerky is. I think Zerky might actually overtake him. Sorry, not Zerky, as Snakes even. It's going to be really close. I think you can see that. Oh, that's killed. Actually, no, he might have lost the position. But remember, those medium tyres are going to be ice cold. I don't know how much Killed's going to fight us on those cold mediums. But Snakes does get back into provisional P2. Remember, those mediums are freezing. You can see how much Ruben's able to overtake him to turn 4 even. How much he can stay ahead, how much he can stay behind. I mean, whether he wants to overtake or not. If he wants DRS or not, we'll have to see. But if he wants to overtake, he can do it now and try and push. But no, I think he will just have to settle for P2 at the moment. I need to take a short break, but I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, I'm back. Nothing changed. Although Killed has actually fallen out of the DRS range. So those cold tyres, although he does have purple middle sector, but yeah, those cold tyres maybe not treating him too well. But yeah, he's going to want to catch up. And get back inside that DRS, otherwise it's going to be really horrible for him. And really much more difficult later. Sorry, who was that? Set the fastest lap? Ruben sets the fastest lap with 18.9. Is yellow flag. That's a Ferrari spun round. Is that Mika knows Victor? Victor Wildless spun round. Luckily, Ghosting is on, so no one had a collision there. But Snakes F1. Let's go back to the leaders that struggling to stay in the DRS. Yeah, he's really going to have to want to use a bit of DRS. You can see he's going to use so much there. Already less than 10%, so he's going to have to be saving, but I'm not sure he has the pace. I think Ruben's going to be able to run away with this one as soon as he falls out of DRS. Luckily, he just about gets in there. But yeah, he's going to have to use a bit of battery, a bit of ERF, a bit of DRS as well to catch up at the moment. But it's looking so difficult for him as he's so nearly outside of that 1 second range. If he gets out now, I mean, it's going to be so much easier for him to just run away with this, but he does look good in the last sectors. He closed underneath again It's so close, on all honesty. It keeps flashing up and above, over and above, but he does have DRS. Thank goodness, otherwise this race would have just got very boring very quickly. But no, Snakes is able to stay in. He's going to have to save his ERS now, though, because he has nothing, absolutely nothing left in the tank. Yeah, you can see maybe struggling for grip there. Losing the rear end a little bit up the hill. I thought that can be expected if he's pushing as much as he can. Snakes once again nearly out of that DRS. He does look a little bit more comfortable this time around. I think he's good in the last sector, but killed. It's out of that 1 second range, but oh, I'm not sure actually. Snakes is really bordering it. This is making me nervous. I don't know if he's going to get in. Yeah, obviously when you're saving ERS, it's going to be a lot more difficult to keep with Ruben. I think Ruben is looking a lot faster. He's got 1 lap pressure tyres, but I'm not sure how much of an effect that is going to have with tyre grip, especially so early on in the stint. As Zerky sets the fastest lap. P4 with a 1:18.6 at the moment. Yeah, seems to be having a nice clean race there by himself. There's a yellow flags in sector 3. I think that's... oh, that's not Victor. That's his teammate Mika. I'm not sure what happened there. But he is up and running again. We'll see how Snakes does through the sector again. If he can stay with them without draining his ERS, he's going to have a really good chance towards the end of this race, but he's going to have to perform almost quali laps, because Ruben looking so much more comfortable on the pace, barely having to use ERS as well. You can see the comparisons there. Poor Killed is just... he's just a 10th out of DRS. Oh, I mean, there's also stuff like late safety cars which can have a massive effect in terms of the end result, but yeah, no, at the moment, yeah, no safety cars. Zerky looking incredibly quick though. That's 5-second gap, just has gone to a 4.6-second gap to Killed up ahead. Killed once again narrowly missing out with the ERS, and Snakes narrowly receiving DRS. So yeah, he is managing for now, but I don't know if he can do that for another 9 laps, but 10 laps including this one. But we'll see as the two Alpines are fighting. Silver Arrow and Luca Monaco. I think Luca just letting him through there, hoping to get Silver Arrow to drag him through. Let's have a look at the helmet designs. I really like Silver Arrow's helmet design. Obviously the fish helmets, I like those as well. Oh, Zaz, I mean, it's Killed, losing so much grip there. That's really not going to help him if he wants to get back into that DRS, 1 second DRS gap. Well, helmets. I like Luca's one, it's very clean. Most of the Lando Norris one. Matthew, nice simple design. Italian, I think, or Hungarian. Flags. Wow, my geography sucks. A lot of people with the fish helmet. I do like the fish helmet. Used a lot of Bitcoin to buy that. Sorry, we'll come back to the leaders. Getting distracted here. As I think Snakes this time, is he out of DRS? I think he is. Didn't get in, so for the first time this race, well, since the DRS has been enabled or he hasn't been leading, won't have the DRS to catch up to Ruben. He's going to have to do it on pace. Whether this helps Ruben run away with it now, I'm not sure, but yeah, Ruben is looking so much more comfortable on these medium tyres, whereas Snake's last stint round. This time Snake's looking a lot more dominant. We'll see if he can run away with the win. All he's got to do is not make any mistakes, and he should be able to get this or not get a penalty. But Snakes obviously does have the power of ERS, which he's going to have to use now. Let's see which he does, because he needs to get back in, and I'm sure he's on the back straight because he needs to get the DRS for the main straight. Yeah, he can't afford to make any mistakes here, and he's got to pretty much do a qualifying lap He's got to get back into the DRS as soon as possible, otherwise he risks just losing any sort of gap whatsoever. But you can see that already, 1/10 in one corner. Ruben's able to gain another 2/10. Oh, his Snake's pushing so hard, not quite able to do it. It's his yellow flags, as I think that is a Williams of Noah spun round. I'm not going to cut for the moment, just because we're looking at Snakes at the moment. Is he able? Oh, he's not quite able to get into DRS again, and you can see that gap has increased by 1/10. Yeah, that's not going to do him any favours. It really won't. Yeah, the gap increasing ever so slightly each lap. Snakes has got to do something. Maybe his tyres are a little bit too hot, a little bit too worn. I think we've seen that in the later stages of the hard stint, where I think Ruben was able to just be faster. But yeah, what Snakes can do now, I don't know. The Barcelona circuit, Circuit de Catalunya, or Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, located in the district. No, what's it called? It's the. I honestly can't remember for the life of me what it's called. It was. Oh, goodness me. It's municipality in Spain called Montmelo. Replaced the circuit of Montjuic, which is an urban layout in the Barcelona hills, which can still be seen today. The circuit was used for motorcycle and F1 races until the mid-70s. Just while we're here, hello, thanks to GT Omega again, the title sponsor of PSGL. Can't be done without them. They do so much for the league. Yeah, so just a reminder, go to gtomega.co.uk and use code PSGL at checkout for 5% off. As I said, they do a lot for the league, including £150 vouchers for those winning PCF1 to F6 and PSF1 to F2. Snakes is just so close to DRS. Oh, that's not going to help him. A little mistake there into the chicane. Jumped to 1.3. I'm sure we 1.4 seconds in just a second. Killed though. Killed is in the DRS of Snakes. Snakes struggling with DRS. Killed maybe challenging for P2. We'll see how they're doing. How they do at the end of the race. But Killed is going to be within that 1 second gap. So Killed is going to be all over the back of Snakes now. On those one lap fresher tyres, which obviously when they start to wear is going to become more of an increasingly large issue for Snakes, especially because I think he's got a lot more tyre wear than Killed. There's still 6 laps, including this one, of the race left. Lots of time for stuff to happen. But Snakes, I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's got to get into that DRS if he wants to have a shot at winning, but it's incredibly close. I mean, 2/10 can be made up from one mistake. But Ruben not looking like he's going to make any type of mistake at the moment. Let's hope the commentator's curse does not strike him. It really is incredibly close. 1.3 seconds is pretty much nothing. Especially when you think he's only going to get 3/10. So 2/10 to get back into DRS. But yeah, no, it's so difficult to gain, no matter how little time it is. But yeah, Killed is going to be pressuring Snakes. I mean, there's always the possibility that Killed's maybe a little bit faster as Snakes goes wide there, taking a wider line, maybe just slings at the corner. But if Kill can get ahead, maybe close that gap, which Snakes isn't quite able to do at the moment. But I don't know, we'll see as Mikes get past Mercy there. But killed is. Yeah, he's still in that DRS, obviously. As I said, those fresher tyres are going to be making a difference. Into turn 10. Exiting turn 11. Oh my goodness, both of the drivers that killed and Snakes are losing their rear end a little bit. They're having to make the corrections. I mean, is that a sign of any issues? Also, might be important to look at fuel. Maybe Snakes has to save fuel, that's why he's a little bit slow. You can see these plus 0.3, so he seems to be good. Ruben is 0.4, killed 0.8, so those guys are all good. Interesting to see, and interesting isn't. Zerky currently isn't, he's on minus 0.08, so he's going to have to do a little bit of lifting and coasting. I'm going to go through everyone out, that's literally it. Just Zerky. Zerky's going to have to watch out for fuel, otherwise he's going to have a little bit of trouble in that final corner. Lost a little bit of time there. Nearly out of DRS against Snakes, maybe able to switch on a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure, the gap is 1.2. It's really staying at that. Snakes just can't do anything, and that's really not going to help. And Ruben, is he going to get DRS? I'm not sure if the back marker is close enough. I think he will get DRS from the back marker of Eamon ahead, which is just not what Snakes needs right now, unless it gives Snakes DRS as well. But I don't think it will, because well, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough, close enough. But yeah, we'll see. No, it's not. Of course, it's not. Poor Snake's getting a little bit unlucky there. Oh, it might do actually. Still going through the chicane. He really wants that DRS. He's going to have to just. No, he's going to overtake it. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's going to get that DRS. Okay, good. That is, well, not good, but obviously that's what he needs because the gap is 1.1. That DRS, he's finally got something to help him catch up. He's not going to use his ERS. That why? He should be using his ERS to close up to that 1 second because he needs some sort of safety net because the gap's less than a second, but that's not going to last long unless he does a really good first sector all the way up until the DRS zone. Snakes. Oh, he needs to be pushing. He needs to be using that battery. It looks like he doesn't want to go below 5% because he seems to be using that as like a barrier. I mean, obviously DRS is less effective beyond that, but yeah, no, nonetheless. I mean, we'll see if we're going to battle later on. Killed is back on the DRS. Next 1.1 is the gap now. There's going to be 2 laps left at the end of this lap. I think Ruben had to use a bit of ERS there because he's now got less than Snakes. Maybe those medium tyres dropping off. Maybe Snakes was saving them a little bit more, so he's going to be there at the end, but there's only 2 laps left. Snakes needs to pick up the pace, and he needs to do it now because he needs to get in that 1 second gap. But at the moment, he's not there. He's just not there. Killed is going to be looking to make a move this time. Next lap, for sure, would be the best time to do it. He's got to push this lap. Snakes has got to push this lap. He's going to be using all the battery he can. He needs to get in the DRS bending this lap. He just only needs to be 2/10 faster. It sounds like absolutely nothing, but it's so difficult to do when you're actually in the cockpit. But no, he's going to be pushing. His tyres don't seem to be overheating at all, so that's good for him. Zerky's still bad on fuel. Well, actually, no, he's not. He's pretty much on the level. He should be good, but Snakes needs to get into the DRS, and he really needs to do it now. I can't stress enough how important that is. He needs Ruben to make some sort of mistake because clearly the pace just is not there for Snakes in these final few laps. We'll talk to him about it later. But we'll see. No, not quite there at the moment. Snakes. Oh, the gap is 1.4 as we enter the final lap of the first race of season 32. Lap 33, here we go. This is when Snakes, I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's got to pull all the stocks out of the bag. Killed's going to be looking to try and steal this P2 as he's got the DRS. He's got a good run. He's going to go down the inside. No, he's not quite able to dummy it, but he sends it down the inside. He's going to still make the corner. He is on this way. Contact, and both of them spin out. Snakes and Kill there spinning out as they make contact on the final lap. That's going to give Zerky an opportunity to get a podium now. But that, I think I have to say that was Killed's fault. I didn't quite see it, but it did look like he just made a horrible dive bomb. But he's going to be under pressure from the other Aston Martin now. Zerky trying to send it around the outside. He's going to have to go for a switchback. He needs to get the power down quickly. And that's basically cost Snakes any chance at the win. Zerky are not able. He's looking, but he can't get that gap. And Zerky spins around as well. No. Those tyres overheating. Pushing too hard, and he's got the power down too quickly. That's the other Aston Martin. Both of those spinning on the last lap. The two Alpines now, P4 and P5. Silver, is he still potentially looking at a win? I don't think so, because podium, because Kill's tyres not hot enough. Snakes does look to be safe for P2 right now, and Killed. I mean, is he going to lose any positions due to that? Because that was he just didn't leave a space, but that doesn't matter because Ruben has dominated the second half of this race, and the first round of PSGL goes to Ruben as he wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Round 1 goes to Ruben and goes to Red Bull. That was a great race. Especially on that last lap there. That was chaos. Snakes does bring it home P2. 3 is Killed. Silver Arrow 4th. Luca 5. So Aston Martin and Alpine big winners there. Even AlphaTauri as well. Zergius P6. Mike's P7. Augustin P8. Matty P9. E2 P10 to round off the points positions. 24 lap old hards E2 was on, so fair enough on that. Mika P11. Tomat P12. Let's see the penalties. A few penalties. Tomat crosses line. Does get P12. Noah is going to come in and get P13. Rishi will get 14th and Baloney 15th. Oh, sorry, Baloney will get 16th after penalties. So it gets P15. But round 1, it does go to Ruben. That's going to set him up brilliantly the rest of this season. We will just sort out this now. Sort out some interviews. But there is your podium. Sorry, I probably show that. Ruben does get the win in this first round. I don't know why you can't see it. Why can't you see it? I'm so confused. There you go, there's your results. Ruben does take the first win of the season, followed by Snakes, Killed, Silver Arrow, Luca Monaco, Zerky, Mikes, Augustin, Matty, and E2 rounds off the top 10. Zerky does get the fastest lap with an 18.6, about 2 seconds off the quality time, so that's pretty good considering those are on mediums and in the race. But yeah, that was a chaotic last lap there. But yeah, Ruben taking that first one does set him up nicely for the rest of the season. We'll talk to a couple of people now. Just a moment. Killed, congratulations, that is a podium in your first F6 race. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good. Kind of sweaty, but yeah. Yeah, I think the strategy worked out really well. I had an incident on the last lap, but yeah, I think it was an racing incident.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Brought some drama, which was nice to see. But yeah, no, just talk us through that last lap actually. From your perspective, what was your plans going into it? Obviously, looking very close to get that P2, but how was that for you?
So yeah, So I wanted to go for the inside with the rest, and I didn't have any rest left, so I like turned it on with like the last 7% I had, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then I just ran out of road when I tried to send it.
Ah, well, very unfortunate. You saw you get nearly lost that P3 to Zerky, but Zerky was yeah, not
Yeah, he
quite
spun.
he spun. But yeah, any other things you wanna say about that race?
I just want to say congrats to Ruben for his victory. He was just too fast for us to catch, I think.
What was your thoughts like in that race? Because obviously you're P3, just sat in that DRS train. Were you hoping to make moves to the lead later on? But obviously that didn't work out. But how was that?
It was very frustrating.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that sets you up good for the season. Clearly, showing good pace, and I'll let you go now. But yeah, well done.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
bye.
Wrong one. Snakes, congratulations. P2 nearly lost it at the end there, but able to recover from that incident. How was that? You're muted, by the way. Hello? Snakes? Yeah? You're muted, by the way. I don't know if you're speaking or here.
Sorry, I was muted.
Okay, cool. Um,
No, yeah, the last lap incident, in my opinion, I left enough room, but just still P2, so I'm happy about that.
yeah, well,
Ruben was a bit too quick for me, I think, but yeah, congrats to him.
yeah. I mean, you really dominated that first sector. Did you think you struggled a bit more with tire wear to the guys behind? I think, well, from what I saw, it felt like your tires were dropping off a little bit sooner, but I don't know.
No, I don't know. Personally, I didn't really feel like that, but
Okay.
I think Ruben was just a bit too quicker.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, talk us through that incident from your side. I mean, yeah, obviously, it's things like that happen. It's unfortunate, but how was that for you?
I have to look it back, watch it back, but I think from how I experienced it, I think I left enough space. And it was the last lap of course, so Gilde wanted to try to move on me, which I understand. But in my opinion, I left enough room, and yeah, we touched. But yeah, still P2 after that.
Yeah,
So
you kept position, so that's good. But
yeah,
yeah. Well, what are your goals and aims for this season?
of course I want to try to win the championship, fight for a championship. Gonna be hard because Gilde, Zerky, and Ruben have good pace. But yeah, I want to try to stay as consistent as possible, get the points, and hopefully win the championship at the end.
That's fair enough. I mean, you clearly showed you had good pace in that quali. So yeah, massive congratulations. I will let you go now. But yeah, well done. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Join us next week for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I believe it is. I'm trying to double check out. Bahrain Grand Prix. It is where I will be by myself again, as Punju won't be here next week either, but he will be just in time for the Netherlands Grand Prix, which is actually Snake's home race. So hopefully he does well there. But have a great week, guys. Look after yourselves, and yeah, another thank you for GT Omega for sponsoring the league. And just a reminder, gtomega.co.uk with code PSGL at checkout gets you 5% off. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega and Grid Rival, proudly supporting PSGL.